that is just further exacerbated by what I call screen time or plugged-in time. The video games, the texting on the cell phone, the TV shows, the internet, the Facebook, the whatnot. It's a way for teens to kind of isolate, which is what they like to do because they want to be in their own little world and whatnot. And so be a parent and limit that time because they will take every second that they can to do those things. It's the cool thing. It's the way to communicate. You could be sitting, okay, seriously, how many people here have seen their child sitting right next to a person and they're not talking, but they're communicating back and forth via text? And they are literally right next to each other. They do it all the time. I don't get it. When we're talking about allowing them technological tools, make them earn it. We're telling you that giving your kid a cell phone isn't a guarantee of safety. It's not a guarantee that they're going to be where they say they are. Things like that. Make them earn computer time by doing chores, what have you. Make them earn the cell phone. Or if they're old enough to have a job, make them get a job and help contribute to the cell phone bill. Pay that extra $10 a month for unlimited texting, because we all know those kids like to text. You know, so do those things which helps make them responsible. Don't be fooled, and that's what we're talking about in regards to the cell phone, and thinking that you're going to know where your kid is at if they have a cell phone, because that's not always true. And also it's a safety versus reality. The cell phone thing. People think it's a safety thing. It is good in emergency. They can call 911. They can do this and that. But it's not a great tracking device for you to know where they're at. It's just not. That's reality. Also, with the internet. Install those parental controls and then double check and make sure your teen hasn't found a way to get around it, because they are super genius at that. Super genius at getting around these things and finding ways. And like if they say, well, I need to get on the computer and do a report for school, make sure that they're working on the report for school. Supervise. Make sure when your child is talking on the cell phone, you know who they're talking to. Supervise the computer time. Maybe put the computer out in an open area where you can see what's going on. Don't let it be tucked back. It's risky to allow your teen to have a computer up in their room where they go in and seclude themselves with the door shut like a cave. Check. If they do that and you want your child to have a computer in the room, pop in every now and again and see what's going on. Check their computer. If they have a laptop or something, or check it and see where they've been looking, see where they've been searching, and make sure. They're going to explore. That's what they do. They're learning new things. They're teens. Everything's changing in their world, and so they're checking things out, and that's okay. That doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with your teen, but you want to keep tabs on what they're doing. And if you find something that maybe is questionable, talk to your teen about it. Inquire as to why they're looking at perhaps questionable material, or why they're talking to a questionable person on the phone. And before you start getting upset and accusing and whatnot, try and talk to them, get their input. And they'll be more open with you, and you'll therefore get more information as to what's really going on with them.
In regards to that, also with parent supervision, talk to other parents. As Kimberly said before, know who your kids' friends are. Talk to other parents. You have a wonderful support group right here tonight of talking to other parents at sports events, just different things. Make sure you're communicating with other parents, because two parents is kind of better than one teen sometimes. Also, take time to listen to your kids. I know we all think that teenagers, a lot of times when they're talking, they're just blah, 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 but actually they may have something important that they have to say. Don't jump to conclusions. Don't immediately open, a conversation with an argument. Give them time to give their input and listen to them also, because otherwise that's just another way. If you're shut down into listening to them, then they're just going to shut down on you.
I don't have this memorized, so I'm sorry, I have to wait for my prompt to know what
How about the first one that you guess and just yell it out?
problems will arise. And your adolescent isn't going to respect the boundaries and limits that you have so excellently and clearly communicated ahead of time to plan ahead and avoid crisis and not freak out, and they're gonna go against it anyway. So, what do? We highly recommend, just like Melissa was saying, getting support. The school is a great place. They're putting on this parent night. The school social workers and guidance counselors are all there and able to take phone calls. Get support from them. There's support in the community. Other parents, things like that, to bounce ideas off of. And then take away privileges. If they're violating boundaries and expectations, start enforcing the consequences. And there's lots of privileges, sometimes we don't think of all of them, to take away. You could take away the cell phone. Stop paying their bills. As our teens get older and they start driving, a lot of times we buy them a car, we gas it up for them, we pay the insurance on it, and no, not if they didn't earn it. We pay their cell phone bill, and if they're working, hold them accountable, make them responsible. It teaches a huge lesson right there. You can take away social things, going out with friends, prom, things like that. Computer time, money, if they get an allowance, or if you're paying for some of those things, reduce that. Driving privileges, that's a huge one. Don't let them go wherever they want to go if they're not following the rules. Because that's actually real life. We all know that if we don't do what is expected of us as adults, there's consequences to pay. We lose our jobs, we can lose our licenses, things like that. That's real life. And so prepare them for that. Don't let them think or teach them by your own example that as teenagers they can do whatever they want and there's no consequence for it, and then they have the shock of a lifetime when they get to be adults and all of a sudden they are totally responsible for themselves. And then you can also hold them accountable, like we were talking about, make them pay for things, make them be responsible for, taking care of some of their own appointments and things like that. And we have on here call the police. And this is kind of a touchy one. But if your teen is to the point that they are doing things that are so risky that could be harmful to themselves, to somebody else, if they're running away and you have absolutely lost control, be a parent, call the police, turn them in as a runaway. It has to be done. That is how you are going to keep them safe and show them that you are just absolutely not going to accept those behaviors.